Hello and welcome back to video 3 of this special series on the big secrets to learning jazz guitar improvisation. My name's Greg O'Rourke and I'm the founder of fretdojo.com, a website that's helped thousands of jazz guitarists worldwide improve their jazz guitar skills, and I can help you as well. So this series is all about how to overcome the struggles to learning improvisation on the guitar, what you might be doing wrong, and what you need to do to start sounding like a competent and confident soloist. So here's a quick recap of what we've covered in the previous 2 videos of this series. In video 1, I talked about how the brain learns to improvise using short pieces of vocabulary called licks. In video 2, I talked about how to deconstruct the skill of jazz guitar improvisation into its 4 basic elements and showed you how to use this 4 elements framework to easily learn to solo over any chord progression. You might be thinking, well, that was great, but that was only one fretboard position. What about the other fretboard positions? What about the other chord progressions? You know, we only did a major 2-5-1, but there's a few others in jazz that we need to get on top of. And what about more vocabulary? We only looked at a couple of lines. We need more than that. I'm going to show you how you can learn all of this really easily. But before I do that, I want to show you how the 4 elements framework has not only helped myself a great deal in my improvisation skills, but also that of my students.
I just want to talk a little bit about this jazz guitar course that Greg O'Rourke has provided. And I have to say that I was a little skeptical at the beginning with his claims about the effectiveness of the course. But after having almost completed the course, I would say that it's really a remarkable undertaking that he has accomplished in developing this course and providing it to a large number of students. He really has effectively broken down an introduction to playing jazz on the guitar into some very sensible and usable and doable components. And just the amount of thought and work that he put into this course is really outstanding. And I would say that it's a game changer in introduction to jazz guitars. I have been playing jazz and other styles for quite a long time and know a fair amount of theory and so forth. But I was lacking in certain areas which Greg's course really nails. And one of the strong points of the course is the emphasis on vocabulary. And this is something that I've dabbled in over the years, in that I've tried to learn solos. I've tried to learn solos of some of the greats, Pat Martino, Joe Pass, and Wes, so forth. But I was basically drinking from a fire hose. And Greg has provided a large repertoire of vocabulary grouped into the certain topics that the course covers. So the major 2-5-1 progression, Greg gives you some introductory lines to learn, which you can play over 2-5-1. And by limiting your attention to these lines rather than a whole solo, has really been eye-opening, and that it's really made me realize that less is more, and that you can actually gain a lot from spending time focusing on shorter lines rather than whole solos, and learning how to use those shorter lines in different areas of the fretboard. So I would say that this course has been exceeded my expectations. It really has. It's inspired me. I think it's transformed my playing. I know that I have a lot of work left to do with just this course material, meaning going back and going through the course material over again and trying to more fully integrate all the bits and pieces that Greg has provided in this course. Of course, people are going to come to this class with their own knowledge, their own experiences, but Greg is a master teacher, and it's been a pleasure to watch his videos and to be encouraged by his sort of gentle and encouraging style. So thumbs up, Greg. Thanks so much for just a really fabulous course. It's really an achievement on your part. I think it's really terrific, and it's really been great for me taking this class. Thank you.
So this is the way that I teach improvisation that is a lot different from many other jazz guitar teachers out there. Too many jazz guitar teachers take the scales, arpeggios, theoretical approach to improvisation. Now, not only is it too complicated, it also doesn't work. And even if a student does manage to do a bit of improvising with that approach, it never sounds that good. My method, the 4 elements framework, is completely different. It involves having secure fretboard knowledge and technique, and then reverse engineering improvisation by learning jazz vocabulary on the fretboard and then being creative with it in a very systematic way. This will give you secure vocabulary in relation to that fretboard knowledge and also be able to make it your own as well. So in summary, here's the blueprint to learning how to improvise on guitar over any chord progression using the 4 elements framework. Step 1 is to work out the basic underlying scale of the chord progression and then learn to play that on a fretboard area on the guitar. Step 2 would be to visualize the underlying chord shapes that are embedded in that scale pattern to use as a guide as you improvise. Step 3 is an important one, adding that crucial jazz vocabulary in the form of licks that you might have learnt off recordings or off teachers as a starting point, and using the scale pattern and the chord shapes to kind of help you stay secure as you play those lines. Step 4 would be to be creative with those lines, jazz them up, morph them, start them in different places, cross-pollinate the lines, and then that is when jazz improvisation really starts to happen. So once you do all those things, you just need to then rinse and repeat for all the fretboard areas on the guitar and for all the main jazz chord progressions. Now, once you can do that, the natural outcome is that you could confidently and securely improvise in any chord progression in any key, which is an incredible thing, but it's not that hard to get there. So I know what might be running through your head right now. You might be asking, well, that sounds great, but how am I ever going to learn all this step by step in a logical sequence? What are the most important chord progressions, scales, licks, and jazz standards to actually learn? And how do I make music out of all this stuff? Well, I have an answer for you. So this course is called The Fundamentals of Jazz Guitar Improvisation, and I'm so excited to share this with you now. The Fundamentals of Jazz Guitar Improvisation is a step-by-step 10-week program in which you'll learn a rock-solid approach for scale patterns on the guitar and the secret to navigating in any key, anywhere on the fretboard, a detailed overview of the most important chord progressions and how to tackle improvising over them, authentic jazz lines from the master jazz players to build a rock-solid vocabulary. And it won't just be boring exercises. You're going to apply all of this to 5 classic jazz standards, so you'll end up having a great set list that you can take to any gig, any jam session, or even simply to enjoy playing at home to family and friends. This new online course will give you the ultimate foundation for your improvisation skills. You'll go from feeling frustrated and self-conscious about your playing to being confident and happy about your soloing. You'll go from feeling confused about how to improve your improvisation to having clarity and a step-by-step method to learning improvisation using my 4 elements framework. And you'll go from being too scared to play your jazz guitar to anyone to nailing it in any jam session or any performance situation. You'll be able to solo over 5 classic jazz standards that are some of the most commonly played tunes at jams and gigs. You'll confidently be able to improvise over major 251s, minor 251s, and all the main chord types. You'll have a secure and logical system for being able to improvise, comp, and play melodies anywhere on the fretboard and in any key. This means that you'll then have a secure set list that you can confidently perform in any situation or simply enjoy playing in the comfort of your own home. But an issue that I've often had with learning online is that there's often no feedback on your playing, but that's where this course is different. This online course isn't just a plain bunch of videos. This is an interactive, collaborative coaching program. You'll have the ability to submit examples of your playing and get feedback from your instructor as well as your fellow students. And you'll have the ability to develop connections and friends with your fellow jazz guitar students from all around the world. You've tried all the other methods, you've looked at a few random YouTube videos here and there to figure improvisation out, and you're still not getting anywhere. If you don't take this opportunity to do this course, trust me, fast forward 3 months, you'll still be where you are now. Confused, frustrated, self-conscious about your playing, instead of enjoying that special thrill from being completely in the flow of the moment and busting out a great solo. This is the opportunity to finally be the jazz guitarist that you want to be through doing this new program. I'm so excited to finally present this long-awaited solution to learning jazz guitar improvisation in a way that actually works. I'll see you then.